Welcome you all. In this video we are going to discuss about VN diagram. Myself S. Karthigeyan, working as a faculty in the Department of Aerospace Engineering at B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. Okay, so VN diagram. At the end of this video, I hope you can get an answer for the following questions. It's only for few questions. You can get so many answers. For your understanding purpose, I am listing some few questions. For example, what is limit load factor? What is ultimate load factor? What is wing loading? What is the purpose of VN diagram? Why should I know about VN diagram? How to obtain the maneuvering point from VN diagram, because that is the most important point for the aircraft designers. Then why should know about corner velocity? So without knowing the corner velocity, what I will lose? Okay. Then similarly, finding point where both Nmax and CLmax will be maximum possible point. So these are the questions you may raise in your mind. So you may get answer for the questions at the end of this video. So we'll see one by one. So we start with the purpose of VN diagram. The purpose of VN diagram, mainly it's a graph. It's a plot between two parameters. The parameter like flight velocity and load factor. It's a graph, a simple graph to relate the properties between flight velocity and load factor. Similarly, it helps to determine the aerodynamic and structural limitation for the particular aircraft. So aircraft may be having a structural limitation, depends upon the speed. Similarly, it has some aerodynamic limitation. Aerodynamic limitation nothing but your lift value. So CL max at what velocity I can able to obtain CL max. That is why it is called as a aerodynamic limitation. So these parameters we can able to find out from this VN diagram. Then similarly, it shows how much load factor can be safely achieved at a different airplane. Okay, so further you need to understand the load factor that we are discussing in next paragraph. Okay, so the main aim is I can able to find out the maximum load factor for the particular airplane. So that is the point you can able to get from this VN diagram. The same way for the higher temperature, okay, air is less density, automatically the plane must be fly faster to generate the same amount of lift. So because of the different atmospheric condition, automatically we have to keep on changing your angle of attack to create the lift. So if I keep on changing the angle of attack, what will be the structural damage will happen. So these things will be find out by using of your VN diagram. So now you come to the next term, the load factor. The load factor nothing but is a ratio between lift to weight of an airplane. That is why L divided by W. The symbol for load factor is N. So it is a ratio of the aerodynamic force of the aircraft to the gross weight of an aircraft. That is a lift divided by weight. For example, a load factor of 3 means the total load on aircraft structure is 3 times the gross weight. That is the meaning of your load factor. So each and every aircraft having a different load factor, depends upon the purpose. Fighter aircraft may be different load factor, passenger aircraft may have a different load factor. So depends upon the application, load factor value will be varying. The next parameter, the limiting load factor. Okay, it's like a boundary. Okay, so it is a boundary associated with the permanent structural deformation of one or more parts of an airplane. If N less than the limiting load factor, you know the meaning of N nothing but load factor. Okay, so if N less than the limit load factor, the structure may be deflect during a maneuvering, but it will return to the original state when N equal to 1. So even though your N value less than 1, the structure may be get some deflection, okay, but it will be come back to original position when the N value reaches 1. Okay, if N is greater than limit load factor, then the airplane structures will experience the permanent deformation. So that is, it will occur the structural damage. Okay, so limit load factor will be helpful to find the when structural damage will happen for the particular aircraft. Okay, that is a point for limiting load factor. So when aircraft is flying less than N value, limiting load factor value, it will be safe. Automatically when you come to N equal to 1, the component will be come back to the original position. Okay, original state. Okay, so that is the purpose of your limiting load factor. Next one, ultimate load factor. So ultimate load factor is the next level of load factor. So this is a boundary associated with outright structural failure. Okay, structural failure. If n is greater than the ultimate load factor, parts of the airframe will break. Okay, here it can able to come back to the original state, but here there is no possibility. Automatically your ultimate load factor, when the value reaches ultimate load factor, airplane parts will be get break. So that is the difference between limiting load factor and ultimate load factor. The last one, wing loading. So wing loading, we are simply denoted by W by S. Okay, S nothing but span area. Okay, that is W by S. Okay, wing area is S. Okay, so it's a total weight of the aircraft divided by the area of the wing. Okay, the stalling speed of an aircraft in straight level flight is partially determined by the wing loading. That is the purpose of wing loading. So why should I bother about wing loading? The wing loading will be helpful to find out the aircraft stalling speed for the particular condition. So that is the important of your wing loading. Okay, so this is a VN diagram. So here the diagram will be given. So in the next slide I am giving some important points. So this will come later because here I am comparing the point with the diagram. So in this picture diagram will be very small. That is why first I show the full picture of diagram. So I will try to tell the points where you have to concentrate more. So first we will see about the curve. So this is the graph between the velocity of the flight, seagull velocity. So flight velocity in x-axis and load factor in the y-axis. This is the curve. So flight velocity in the x-axis and load factor in the y-axis. Okay. So based on which equation this total graph will be drawn? Based on this, because of this equation. Okay, so you know very well load factor n nothing but L by W. Okay, the L you can write your lift equation of rho V infinity squared is into CL, that is a lift equation, divided by W. So simple W, weight of an wing aircraft, gross weight of the aircraft. So this is denoted by load factor L by W. Okay, suppose I want to obtain maximum load factor N max. I want to obtain maximum load factor. As per this equation we can able to say when aircraft is obtaining CL max, coefficient of lift is maximum, automatically your N max you will obtain the maximum N value. So there is a directly proportional. So we are looking for the maximum coefficient of lift. The same time you will obtain the maximum N value. The same time you have to consider in these cases we are bringing S into downward. Okay, automatically we are getting a W by S is nothing but your wing loading. Okay, so now you compare the three parameter CL max, N max and wing loading. Okay, CL max and N max are directly proportional, wing loading are inversely proportional. So automatically when you are looking for the maximum N value, your wing loading should be minimum. The same time the CL should be maximum. So this is a relation you are getting from your N max. So total VN diagram, okay, especially this corner point N max value depends upon this equation only. So when you are obtaining CL max, automatically you will get the N max value. Okay, so this is the equation followed for the mapping of this particular graph. Then similarly another one more equation V star. Okay, so you can find this particular point V star. Okay, see here this graph V star. Okay, for the corresponding point B. So point B we are getting this equation. So this will discuss later what is the purpose of V star and why we should bother about the value of the V star. We will discuss one by one. Okay, so this is the equation involved for the particular graph. So now come to here. We have a curve, nearly 3 or 4 curves. We will see one by one. The first curve we are taking as a to B. So curve A to B is a aerodynamic limitation curve. It's called as a aerodynamic limitation curve A to B. Then you consider curve line B to C, straight line B to C is called as positive limit load factor line. Okay, the line B to C called as positive limit load factor line. Okay, then C to D, the C to D line called as maximum velocity line. The C to D called as a maximum velocity line, positive maximum velocity line and negative maximum velocity line for this case C to D. And again E to D is called as a negative limit load factor. So here positive limit load factor, here negative limit load factor, that is for your E to D. Then again as usual A to E aerodynamic limit load factor. So here the positive aerodynamic limit factor, here negative aerodynamic limit factor curve. So the curve, the point above the curve AB is called as stall region. The points above the curve AB is called as a stall region. The same way here also the points below the curve AE is called as a stall region. Okay, so these are the point you have to remember. Another point here, see here, curve F and G. F and G again straight line is called as a positive ultimate load factor. Okay, this is limit load factor and this is positive ultimate limit load factor. So just two slides before we discuss about the meaning of limit load factor and positive limit ultimate load factor. So after the positive limit load factor, it may be get damages or it may be get deflected something, but once n value reaches 1, it will come back to original state. But the point beyond the ultimate limit load factor, definitely the structural damage will be happen. That is what the meaning of these two parameters. So here the positive ultimate load factor represented by the line F and G. The same way in the bottom, negative ultimate load factor represented by the letter line H and I. So these are the interpretation we are going to use for the finding up from this graph. Okay, so curve A, B, BC, CD, ED, AE, similarly FG and HI. So these are the point you have to remember, because the whole explanation depends upon the curve point only. Okay, so we will go to the next slide. So see here, the picture will be somewhat minimized here, because here you have to understand the meaning of the curve as well as point. So I'm giving the explanation for the particular point. See here the point AB. So point AB in this curve, point AB. Point AB discuss about the aerodynamic limitation for the particular location. The same way above the curve is called as stall region. Okay, this point above this curve is called as a stall region. So curve AB above this curve is stall region. Similarly for BC, second one BC, this is a line BC. BC is called as a positive limit load factor. Then CD, then CD, this line CD is a high speed limit line. Okay, because the aircraft we cannot increase the velocity beyond some particular point, because we told you x-axis represents about the speed of the aircraft, but we cannot increase the velocity. It maybe depends upon the performance of the engine. Similarly the atmospheric condition. So if you are keep on increasing the velocity, automatically structural damage will be happen. So each and every aircraft having a separate VN diagram. This VN diagram for individual aircraft, not for a common aircraft, to individual aircraft. So it depends upon the individual aircraft performance, we have to consider about the velocity value. So once velocity value increases beyond this point, automatically some other phenomenon will be happen. So what are the other phenomenon? See here the CD curve. CD curve. So when the aircraft is going beyond this particular value, the limit is called high speed limit. When you are going beyond this high speed limit, and the flutter action or aileron reversal or wing or surface divergence or buffeting, all these things will be happen. So it is very difficult to pilot to control the aircraft. That is why each and every aircraft should know what is the high speed limit for the particular aircraft. Then you come for curve AE and ED. Curve AE and ED, same like your positive direction. The positive aerodynamic limit factor and limiting load factor in the positive direction. Here the downward. So downward is a downward negative angle. So when CL value in the positive, CL value negative, the negative value in the downward direction, and similarly negative limit load factor. Then same as usual, HI negative ultimate load factor and FG positive limit load factor. So these are the point, these are the curve for the corresponding graph. Okay, then now we come to the points. So here the points. So see here, so now the outer surface is over. Now we are going for the inside of the picture. So we are taking for the point V1, point V1. Okay, then we have another point V4, then V star and V5. So we have nearly 4 points. Okay, so V1 based on V1 velocity, 4 velocity, V1, V4, V star and V5. So we are going to explain what is the meaning of each and every velocity and what is the meaning of each and every velocity points. So first to consider V1, okay, V1 velocity, and point here we are getting the 3 points, 1, 2, 3, we are getting the 3 points. So what is the meaning of V1? So we have the aircraft is flying at some velocity, that velocity we consider as a V1, okay. So we are saying that the velocity value will be V1. If the aircraft is flying at velocity V1, okay, the first point 1, okay, the first point 1, what it denotes, so if that condition, your CL value less than CL max, okay, aircraft is flying this velocity with some CL value, okay, for the corresponding CL value is less than the particular CL max of the aircraft. See here the first point number 1 V1, CL is less than CL max, okay. So it may have another value to obtain the CL max, but the aircraft is flying at some CL value, that CL value is less than CL max, that is why we are getting the first point. Then you come to second point. So second point means we are increasing the velocity. How we are increasing the velocity? We are changing the angle of attack. By changing the angle of attack, we can able to increase the lift value, not velocity, increase the lift value, because the point 1, 2, 3 we are keeping the same velocity. Point 1, 2, 3 we are keeping the same velocity, only we are changing the angle of attack. So because of the angle of attack, here CL value increases. CL value increases from point 1 to 2. So what is the point 2 denotes? So what is the point 2 denotes? Exactly CL will be equal to CL max. See here the point 2, velocity V1 at point 2, CL equal to CL max. Okay, how we are obtaining the CL max? Because we are changing the angle of attack. So already point 1 flying at CL value, that CL value is less than CL max. Now we are increasing the CL value. How we are increasing CL value? By changing the angle of attack, by keeping the same velocity as a constant, okay. So now the CL is max. That is why this particular point is called as the aerodynamic limit curve, okay. This point fall under the curve AB. For the corresponding velocity, this point 2 is called as the CL max. That is why it is called as the aerodynamic limit curve, okay. Then you come to next point number 3. So point number 3, so even though the same velocity, okay, but your CL value fall under stall region, your CL value fall under stall region, okay, because the point goes beyond the curve. So beyond the curve is an unobtainable point, okay. Maybe theoretically may be possible. Already the stall has obtained for the particular velocity, okay. So automatically once the stall obtained, automatically the flow separation will be occur, okay, the drag will be increases because of that reason. So this is not an unobtainable point, it is an unobtainable point. Only theoretically will be possible, practically is not possible, okay. So our ultimate aim is to obtain the maximum load factor for the corresponding velocity V1. We should be fly CL max only the particular point, okay. We should not go beyond the CL max point. Once you are going beyond the CL max point, you will be fall under the stall region, okay. So that is why this particular point will be the CL max point for the particular aircraft. So even though you are flying less than CL max, that is a point number 1, okay, you may not be reach a N max. We need to reach a N max. Why should I reach a N max? Because N max will be the point where your aircraft will be safely flying. Once beyond the N max value, automatically some structural damage, some other things will be happen. So each and every aircraft should fly almost maximum N max point, okay. That is why we have to find out the N max value based on the CL max. So we have to know for the corresponding velocity V1, and the point 2 will be as a CL max value. When you are flying the CL max for the particular aircraft, you will get the maximum CL value. Then similarly for the corresponding load factor value for the particular aircraft for the particular velocity condition. Now you move on to the next velocity, like velocity V4. So velocity V4, the maximum load factor for the corresponding velocity. That means I am increasing the velocity, automatically my CL max will be increases. Okay, so from 0.24 my CL max will be increases. Because of the CL max value, I am automatically getting my new new load factor. Okay, for the corresponding V1 velocity, this is the maximum load factor value. Okay, this is the maximum load factor value. Okay, you can compare this one, 0.22 corresponding load factor value. The same way I am increasing the velocity for the same aircraft. Okay, then if I increase the velocity, automatically CL value increases. So this is my CL max value for the particular velocity. So for the particular maximum CL, then this is my maximum load factor value. So like that I can able to change my velocity value. I can get my new N max value for the corresponding CL max value. Okay, so that is why the graphs are drawn. So the first point is over, then V4 point is over. Now you come for the point number B. Point number B is called as, see here, point number B is called as a structural limit load factor. Okay, maneuvering point. CL and N are the higher positive value. Okay, this is the most important point for the VN diagram. So this is called as a positive limit load factor. Okay, so as per the understanding, when you are increasing the velocity, my load factor value increases. The same way I cannot say I keep on increasing the velocity, I will get the maximum load factor. That we cannot say, because the load factor depends upon the structure of the aircraft. So each and every aircraft having some structural rigidity. Okay, so once you go beyond the particular Nmax value, automatically structural damage was happen. Okay, it not only depends upon the CL value. So even though CL value is one important factor, it depends upon the structure also. That is why we are find out the corresponding point B. Okay, so B point we have to know about. So that is the point starting with your positive limit load factor. So the corresponding velocity is called as star velocity, V star velocity. So V star velocity is called as corner velocity. Okay, so this is the point where you can able to get the maximum limit load factor for the corresponding aircraft. Okay, maximum load factor for the corresponding aircraft. So now you come to next point, V5. Point number V5. Okay, so this is my maximum load factor value 5. Okay, but it fall under the structural damage area. Okay, the 0.5 under the structural damage area, because it goes beyond positive limit load factor. Okay, so this is only the possible way your aircraft will be safely flying. So even though you are increasing the velocity, as per the concept you can get the new load factor, but the new load factor fall under the structural damage area, so it is not a advisable one. So that is why you have to very important to understand this particular corner velocity. So this point is called as a maneuvering point. So this maneuvering point, what is the meaning of maneuvering point? So this maneuvering point will be tell about where we can get the obtain maximum load factor. The same time you will get the maximum CL. So I want to find out my CL max, because I don't know the load factor. I cannot able to find the maximum load factor directly, but I can able to obtain my CL max. So this is a point, the possible CL max will be developed. So because of the possible CL max, I can able to get my maximum load factor. So even though I am increasing the velocity beyond V star, that is V5, even though I am getting the load factor, but the load factor comes under your damaged area, so it is not an advisable one. So each and every pilot or designer should know what is a maneuvering point, and once you know the maneuvering point, you can able to find out corresponding your corner velocity. This is important for your corner velocity. So this is regarding this particular point. Then same way you come here, point number curve number CD. So the same way I cannot able to increase my velocity infinitely. The velocity having some limitation. So limitation depends upon your performance of your engine. Okay, so I cannot go the velocity beyond the line CD. If I go the velocity beyond CD, automatically here also structural damage will be happen. depends upon the factors like your Aileron reversal, fluttering, surface divergence and buffeting. All these things will be happen once you go beyond the CD line. Okay, so this is the thing you have to remember for your VN diagram. So these are things happen for your positive angle of attack. So when I am changing angle of attack in positive direction, these things will happen. The same thing will be obtained when I am taking for negative angle of attack. Okay, so if I am taking negative angle of attack, automatically your CL value will be negative. That is why the below curves are obtained from the point A to E is called as a negative aerodynamic limit load factor. Okay, again below this point is called as stall region. Okay, so the upper portion till about negative positive angle of attack, the lower curve will be telling about your negative angle of attack. So the procedure will be the same. Here also the negative limit load factor. Then we have another one more point is negative ultimate load factor, that is line H and I. So you should not go beyond that one. If you go beyond that one, automatically aircraft will be get break. Okay, here the structural damage will be happen. Here the totally damage aircraft will be get break. Okay, so this is a reason the aircraft engineer or aircraft design engineer should know about the importance of VN diagram, especially for your corner velocity and maneuvering point. Okay, so I am a single slide I am trying to convey the meaning of curve as well as the point. Okay, similarly with help of the picture, that is why the three things will be available. So you can quickly go through the meaning of the curve as well as the point. Okay, then you can get the diagram also. So this is what I like to convey from the VN diagram. I hope I try to make you understand the VN diagram. So these are the references, and thanks to Introduction to Flight by Anderson, similarly Airplane Performance and Design by Anderson, and some of the other web sources. Okay, so thank you for watching this video once again.